Good morning. Even in the tropics, I drink tea. I don't know if you can see this, but I got this little mug, Tinkerbell, as a child at Disney World. And this is kind of like a childhood mug that I've had for this thing might be close to 20 years and I love it. All right, so I'm coming to you from Florida. I decided to take a few days visiting my mom in the warmth, getting a break. And so I didn't do a lot of planning for this. It's not going to be very long. But I think what happens when we take some time for ourselves is we gain perspective. And so between this being the new year and me taking a little space, um, I've had a lot of time to kind of just check in with the year that just finished and what I want for the year ahead and what feels really aligned and really good. And essentially just getting a sense of like what really has worked, what works, what doesn't work, and what's necessary. And so, three main things, and then a fourth one. So, you'll get a bonus fourth secret, came up for me and kind of really helped me define what I want to create for the year ahead and where I want to be kind of focused. And I thought I would share with you because I think this could be really useful for you as well. So, I always recommend if you're trying to figure out which direction to go or you're trying to get some new ideas, I think it's like really healthy to take, even if it's just a day or two of shifting your environment and going somewhere else, because there's something about getting out of our environment that allows us to become more creative and have essentially, because we feel more spacious and we're not bogged down with the everyday, like clarity comes, creativity comes, um, a sort of certainty comes. And so a lot of what I'm going to share with you today came over the last few days of being away from home, uh, having a little bit of a vacation time. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ilsa Comtier. Welcome. I'm the founder of the Sovereign Entrepreneur Academy, where essentially we marry strategy with energy to help conscious entrepreneurs, change makers, transformational leaders to become vision casters in their own lives and business, and to fill their programs with ease, get booked out without burnout, and do all of that essentially without having to do big launches that drain their soul or wasting the day away on social media or doing marketing that doesn't feel authentic or aligned to them. I'm really glad you're here. Say hi to me. Let me know where you're watching this from. And let's get started. Oh, and by the way, at the end of this training, I will put forth an invitation for you to join the Sovereign Entrepreneur Academy in the next week for the price of 2021 before the price goes up. So if you know that 2022 is your year and you want support to really grow fast and get results with a lot more ease in a way that's super aligned to your unique blueprint and your unique energy, then and you want to do it in a small container. My program is not one of those programs that's got like 50, 100, 200 people in there. I limit it to 20 people. So it's super intimate. And it's just a great group of people. So if that's of interest to you, I will share with you a little more at the end of this. All right. So let's talk about secret number one. And I've mentioned this word a few times already, but I'm going to go a little bit more in detail as to what I mean by it, and what it is. Secret number one to growing fast and growing fast with a lot more ease, a lot more fun, and essentially loving your business. Because if you don't love it, it's not success. Is number one is quantum alignment. And let me tell you a little bit about what I mean by that. I'm going to share a story. And I'm thinking of a client in particular, but this is actually a pretty common story. I've had numerous people come talk to me who've had this problem. So I'm talking to this client of mine. This is our first meeting. And she is sharing that she's successful. She's making almost regular 10K months. And she has a coaching business, and she's also a healer. And all her coaching is around empowerment. She comes to talk to me because few months back, she decided she was going to try to get to 20K months and hired a coach to try to get to help her essentially like really expand her business. And this coach started going through all her marketing, her website, redoing her branding, telling her what kind of pictures to take, what to talk about, what things to shift, like. And essentially what happened is her business turned into not her business. It turned into her coach's business almost. And she wasn't loving what she was doing. It didn't feel like her. It didn't feel easeful. She was having to jump through a lot of hoops and do a lot of things, including doing 5-day challenges, which are really 9-day challenges. And what ended up happening is her 10K business ended up going down to 5 or 6K a month business rather than going in the other direction. And when I spoke with her, the first thing I said to her is, why did you believe that you needed to change or do something totally different to get to the next level? And she didn't know how to answer that. And I said to her, that's not true. Of course, the coach needs to do things to make it make sense for you to hire her. She needs to tell you how she's going to change everything for you and make you feel like you are not enough or you don't have what you need to get to that next level. But the truth is, and this is where quantum alignment comes in, your answers on how to get to that next level are already coded within you, and they need to be unique to you. They can't be you copying somebody else's map to getting there, because it's not going to be you. It's not going to feel like you. It's not going to work. And so what I did with her is I literally helped her reconnect to her own innate wisdom, to her own intuition. I helped her figure out how to know when something feels off and when something feels really good. And we essentially took what she was doing that felt really good and we expanded it. Like, we essentially tapped into that already existing energy, and I essentially guided her to figure out, like, that person that you were, if she felt even more powerful, even more expanded, even more lit up, what would she do next? And then she got to essentially figure out what the next steps would be for her, and essentially grew her business actually pretty quickly. So when we're talking about quantum alignment, it's literally being aligned to the wisdom and the way that is already wired within you. And in your business, when I talk about being aligned in your business, there's a lot of different things you want to be aligned for. And I'm not going to go, I could do and I've done whole trainings on this, but essentially you want to be aligned to the types of clients you want to serve. So you want to make sure that you're lit up by who you're serving. That was actually one of the things we elevated with her, is we elevated who she was talking to and who her clients was. Because as you expand, as you grow, as you level up as an entrepreneur, oftentimes the types of client you are going to then serve also expands, also elevates, also evolves. As you evolve, your clients essentially evolve. So you have to be willing to continuously be growing and changing in your business as you change and you evolve. In alignment, you also have to be aligned to your offers. You've got to be really lit up and excited about the problem you solve and the transformation you provide. If not, something's going to be off and your marketing's not going to work. You're not going to want to sell it, essentially. You have to be aligned to your delivery. You have to figure out, what is it that really lights you up? Do you want to do retreats? Do you want to do small groups? Do you want to do larger groups? Do you want to do one-on-one? Do you want to do a combination, short-term groups? There are so many ways to deliver our genius. You have to figure out what feels really good for you. I don't know, when was it? Like probably last April. So April of 2021, I started getting really booked out. And I was really busy with one-on-one clients. And by June, I was like totally booked out and overwhelmed. And I wasn't having a really good time of it. Like I was resenting clients who were reaching out to me between sessions because I was so busy and were asking a bunch of questions by emails and all of that. And so that's when I decided that, it just was too much for me to do everything one-on-one, and I was going to go and start a group, and I was going to start leveraging my time because I could teach all the trainings I was doing, even the healings and the guided meditations I could do as a group. And in some ways, it would be just as powerful as a group. And so I did a 180 where I stopped selling almost all one-on-one, or if I sold one-on-one, they were small packages. And I started really pushing toward people towards my group, and I started my group. And so now that I've had my group for a few months, I've realized I missed a one-on-one. Like I went from one extreme to the other, but as much as I love the group, and I think there's so much power in the group, and there's actually people in my group who were my one-on-one clients who were having trouble getting result in one-on-one, but in a group setting with the power of the group, they're actually really getting very fast results. So I realized that group, there's something to group, but there's also something to one-on-one. And so as I'm moving forward in the Sovereign Entrepreneur Academy, I'm going to shift the way I'm doing it and create a hybrid where it's going to be group and there's also going to be one-on-one. So I am aligning with the delivery that feels good to me and that makes me feel like my clients have the most chances of essentially reaching their goals and getting as quick results with a lot more ease than either one-on-one or either only in group. And so I'm moving towards a more exclusive, intimate, full spectrum, full support process or program. That is me shifting my delivery to be in alignment with what feels right. You also want to be aligned with your pricing. You want to make sure that your pricing feels really good and you're going to feel excited to serve your clients and to show up for them because you're getting paid fairly and generously for your energy, for your work, for your time, for your expertise. And then you also want to be aligned in your marketing. You want to do what feels fun, what feels right, what feels as easeful as possible, while also stretching yourself to go beyond just your comfort zones. If you start designing a business that is aligned, you will be in flow. You will be in your genius zone. You will be in creativity. Designing a business and being successful in business and growing fast, expanding, when you are out of alignment, you're trying to do things that don't feel good, that you're not resonating with, or you're talking to the wrong people, or selling the wrong thing, or charging the wrong amount, is like pushing a car rather than putting gas and turning the car on. So that's secret number one, quantum alignment. And figuring out, I do that a lot with clients, figuring out what is their unique, destined, wired in path to effortless success. Secret number two, you want as simple a business model as possible. I see people that I follow who are literally selling, like it feels like every month they're selling something new. I'm exhausted just reading their emails. What happens when you have too many things you're offering, or you're trying to solve too many problems, or you have too many different transformations or clients you're trying to serve, is that you not only confuse yourself, but you also confuse your audience. Like your audience doesn't know what you're really known for. They don't know what your expertise is. And you don't know what your call to action should be, or you're changing your call to action. Like 1 month you're selling this, the next month you're selling that. And your audience kind of gets overwhelmed by all the shifts. One of the models that's made a lot of sense for me is to essentially, and this is a little bit the power of one, is to pick one problem, one signature process that essentially provides one type of transformation, one kind of client that you're working for. This way it's really clear. So you're solving one problem and providing one transformation, and then you have multiple ways of essentially delivering that. So your delivery method changes. But what happens is that your message, like what you're actually providing for people, how you're helping them transform, stays the same. That does not change. So your message, your marketing, everything stays in alignment throughout the year. It stays consistent. If somebody like watches or one of your lives or reads one of your emails, and then they get busy, and then like a month or 2 months later they watch another one of your, they're not going to be confused. They're not going to be like, huh, but she was talking about abundance that's last time, and now this time she's talking about meeting your soulmate. What the hell is it that she does? Like, they will not be confused because your message, your marketing stays on the same theme. You have an overarching theme. So your business model stays really simple in terms of your messaging and what you're focusing on and essentially what you're selling. This is something that comes from my own coach, Shamika Tankerson. She is a genius with this. And what she talks about is, again, having that one theme and then having multiple ways to deliver that one theme that's going to fit people. So some people, for example, want to get like a lot of exclusive support and get all the information and the support they need fast. So for that person, you might have a VIP day, or you might offer an intimate retreat over 3 or 4 days. It's exclusive, it has tons of support, and they get the delivery fast. The outcome is still under that transformation you offer. For somebody else who maybe wants support more long term, like I'm a long term support type of person. I love year-long groups. I want to know that the information is going to be there, but I want to know that when I have a questions, when I'm trying something new, I can go and talk to somebody if I need to. So then you could have a long-term group support that essentially you for people who want more support over a longer period. So maybe it's less exclusive, maybe there's a little less support, but it's all over a long-term process. You could also have one-on-one, like a 6 months one-on-one for the person who wants long-term support but wants a lot of support and a lot of exclusive one-on-one time. So you're essentially still fixing the same problem. You're still offering the same transformation, but you've got different level of support that you're doing it at. And you could have a course. For the person who just wants the information, doesn't want to invest a whole lot of money, wants it relatively quickly, doesn't, like a course is a great way of doing that. And then if they want to upgrade into your long-term program, or if they want to upgrade into some one-on-one with you, then they can do that. But your messaging, the problem you solve, the people you're speaking to, the transformation you provide essentially stays the same. And it's just a level of support, or the way you essentially have a program to fit a lot of different people. What you do with that is you can invite people on a call, and then based on the conversation you have with them, you can define what's the best offer. How quickly do they want this? What kind of support do they want? Do they want a lot of support or not so much? What can they invest in? Like all of that will help you define which of your offers, if you've got 2, 3, or 4 offers. And I don't recommend having more than 4. I think 3 is probably optimal. 4 is a stretch, no more than 4, or you'll get confused and it'll be too much delivery for you to offer people. So that's creating a simple business model that essentially only is wrapped up around one theme, one message, one transformation you provide, but multiple ways to work with you around that one theme, essentially, or that one focus. So that's secret number 2. What secret number 2 does, it really helps you stay focused. It helps you get very clear, and it helps your audience stay very clear as to who you are, your expertise, what it is that you provide, essentially. That's the way you build authority. That's the way you build positioning. And that's the way you build expertise and recognition in your field, in your niche. If you're all over the place, always offering different programs, then people are not going to really know what you're good at and what it is that you do. It's harder for them to know whether or not you're the right coach for them, or right healer, right mentor for them. It's harder for them to know if they should refer someone to you, because it's unclear what it is that you do. So that's secret number 2. Secret number 3 is show up. Once you know essentially what your aligned business looks like. So once you have an aligned business blueprint, essentially, once you have a simple business model that you can follow. So you've got your aligned blueprint, you've got your model. The next step, the next thing you need to do is you need to show up. You need to show up consistently. You need to show up authentically. You need to show up courageously. You need to show up in your power and in your authority. Because you can have the most aligned and simple business model. If people don't know that you exist, if people don't know that you're there because you're not putting yourself out there, you're not showing up as your most sovereign self, you're not showing up in your expertise, then no one can buy for you. No one can work with you. So our job is to be visible. Once we know what we're selling, once we are super aligned with our business model, then we have to start serving and showing up from this place of boldness and this place of sharing our brilliance and sharing our gifts and being seen and recognized out there. And not just for us, we do it because if you're listening to this, you're listening to this because you're all about service. You are all about transforming the world and transforming people's lives. You can't do that if no one knows that you're there, or no one knows what it is that you do, what problems you solve, what transformation you provide. So building momentum, building recognition, getting known out there as the expert in your field takes a little time, often. Sometimes it can be really quick, but often for most of us, it takes a little time. And so we have to commit. We literally have to commit to showing up over and over and over, and showing up as the most real, most empowered version of ourselves. You essentially, and this is, if you take one thing out of this life, this is it. Measure your success not by the results you get, especially in the first few years of business. Measure your success by showing up consistently and as courageously and confidently as possible. That's the measure of your success. If you show up, if you commit to being visible, commit to service, and commit to essentially stepping into that most sovereign version of you, you will be successful. Your success is inevitable. So you have to be committed to that consistent and focused direction in your business. So that's secret number 2. Number 3 is show up. Commit to being visible. Commit to service. Commit to people knowing who you are, and knowing who you are as a badass, like knowing who you are in your genius zone, in your brilliance. And then I'm going to give you secret number 4, bonus secret number 4, which is an extension of secret number 3. And this one comes from me because that's what I'm stepping into this year. Last year, I committed to being visible. So I don't know what's the date today, but I went live for the first time on my personal profile January 13th of 2021. I was very weary about going live on my personal profile. I didn't want my family members to know what I was up to. I didn't want elementary school and high school friends to know what I was up to. So I was doing all my lives, all my marketing in a private Facebook group. And I really wasn't getting the momentum and the clients I wanted. And 2 coaches had really pushed me to move to my personal profile. And I was very nervous about it. And nervous is a kind word. I was terrified, almost panicky about going live on my personal profile. Last year, I committed to visibility. So I committed to number 3. I committed to show up to show up consistently, to show up as boldly as I can, and to show up courageously, and to just step into that courage and do it. And I essentially went live every week, basically last month, sometimes last year, sometimes twice a week, and I'm committing to continuing doing this. Secret number 4: dare to be extraordinary. So this is my commitment to myself this year. Last year, I committed to being visible and to stepping into it's safe to be seen, it's safe to be visible. This year, I'm stepping into it's safe to be extraordinary. There's a lot of soulful and spiritual entrepreneurs out there. We are taught, we are wired, we are conditioned for humility. But in business, you have to be willing to claim and own and share your brilliance, your genius, your greatness, because that is your unique sauce. That is what will set you apart from everybody else who does something similar to you. But being extraordinary and stepping into that feels almost, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're jinxing yourself, like you're defying God in some way. Like who the hell am I to claim that I'm extraordinary? There's a little something that doesn't feel quite comfortable for a lot of us who are deeply spiritual. But that's what's needed. It's needed for us as a business owner who have a responsibility to ourselves, to our business, and also it's necessary for our clients. One, because that's what's going to get you to be visible for them. That's what's going to make you that lighthouse that they can see in the dark, choppy waters. When you claim that you are extraordinary and you start stepping into that, if I really own that I'm extraordinary, how would I show up? What would I share? There's some boldness there. There's some major courage there. That makes you shine from the inside. That's what makes others take notice of you. That's what allows you to claim your authority and for people to feel like you can confidently help them. And also you become someone they can look up to, because everyone, I guarantee you, to some degree or another, is trying to step into their extraordinary nature, their essence, their most authentic selves. When you claim your extraordinariness, I know that's not a word, I'm using it anyways, you're doing that. You're going to essentially claim your genius, claim your gifts, claim your brilliance, and you're going to start being recognized as that. So yes, be vulnerable, be authentic, be kind, be relatable, but don't be ordinary. You can be kind, you can be vulnerable, you can be authentic, you can be relatable, and still step. You can be spiritual, you can be deeply soulful, and still claim that you are 1 in 7 billion, that you are absolutely unique, that there is not another who does what you do in exactly the same way you do it, that you are fucking extraordinary at what you do. That is what I'm stepping into this year. And I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I'm going to do it well, because it's not in my nature. But when I tap into my sovereign self, when I tap into my 6-figure, 7-figure, like inner leader, she has no doubt that she's extraordinary. And I can feel within me that's something that we all have to step into. The willingness to claim and share how extraordinary we are, to actually become the highest level leader we can be in our lives and in our business. So that's what I have for you. Secret 1, be in quantum alignment in your business. Absolutely, completely, fully aligned with the kind of client you are serving. Make sure that you're serving your highest level client, aligned with the kind of offers that you're putting out and the transformation you're providing. Essentially, don't play small. Don't pick the thing that's easy. Pick the thing that lights you up. Pick the thing that challenges you, but you know you can do. Aligned with the delivery, how you're delivering this. Don't follow somebody else's path. If you know that what you want to do is have a boutique one-on-one program, then do that. If you know that what you want to have, I have a client of mine who's super successful right now. She has she does both essentially. She works with 6 to 7, 8 at max people at the same time, and she does 2 one-on-one a month and 2 group a month with all of them. That's all she does. And it's super high, like high level, super exclusive, expensive, because they get a lot of support. She loves it. She's got tons of freedom. She knows exactly what she's working on. When one person leaves, she has a wait list of 4 or 5 people waiting for one person to leave. Then she puts in the next person, and it works really well for them. So align business, align marketing strategy, align pricing. Secret number 2, simple business model. Pick one message, one main problem you solve, one main transformation you provide, one main way that you get there, and then just have multiple level of support for your people. Some people want the answer quick and fast. Maybe for them you have a VIP day. Some people want long-term support so that they have you, at the drop of a hat if they need you. Maybe for those people you have a long-term program. Some people want a lot of one-on-one deep dive. For those people, maybe you have a 6 months one-on-one. Essentially have 2 to 3, maybe 4 max offers that are all around the same theme, the same focus in your business, but at different level of support. What that does is that all your marketing will stay aligned. Your message will stay aligned. Your audience will not be confused. You will build credibility and authority and positioning for what you do as an expert in your field. If you're trying to solve too many problems, talk to too many people, offer different types of transformation, your audience will be confused, and you will essentially not be an expert in anything. So that's secret number 2. Secret number 3, show up. Show up consistently, show up authentically, show up courageously, show up in your power and in your authority. Show up. Show up, get visible, commit to visibility. You can have the best business, the most aligned, the most simple business. If no one knows you exist, it's pointless. So visibility, growing your audience, being out there and serving people is absolutely mandatory. That's secret number 3. And secret number 4 is dare to be extraordinary. As you're showing up, commit to visibility and commit to being extraordinary and claiming. It's not that you have to become extraordinary. You are extraordinary. You have to just show up as that. You have to claim that. You have to own that. You have to share that. And it takes guts. It takes courage. It's not easy. If we've been conditioned to be humble, to be spiritual, to be quiet, to serve others, and to create space for others, as a lot of women have, as a lot of service-based providers are, as a lot of spiritual leaders have, that goes a little bit against our grain, because there's something that feels a little off and a little icky about claiming that we're amazing, about claiming our genius, sharing that we're a genius in that particular way of being, in that particular field. But that's my invite to you, and that's what I'm committing to this year, is to stop hiding. Stop hiding both physically and be visible, but stop hiding how amazing I am at what I do. At the beginning of this training, I said I would make you an offer. So this is the last call, essentially. The Sovereign Entrepreneur Academy, which is a very intimate group of people, the price is going up next week. If you know that 2022 is your breakthrough year, if you know you're ready for a quantum leap, you're ready to expand, you're ready to level up and be in absolute alignment to create effortless success in your business, and to do that in a really intimate group with tons of support. And essentially, everyone in my group is either a practitioner, a healer, a coach. We are all transformational leaders in there. That's who I speak to: change makers, healers, transformational leaders. I want to invite you to join the Sovereign Entrepreneur Academy before the price goes up. And it's going to be a significant bump. So if that is of interest to you, there's going to be a link up above me, and I will also put the link in the comments. Check it out. It's an incredible amount of support. I'm essentially giving you multiple marketing strategies, all organic, to help you show up powerfully, grow your audience, create content that magnetize people to you. Essentially, everything you need to get to six figure or your next six figure. I'm also in the Sovereign Entrepreneur Academy. We have monthly retreats to really claim that extraordinariness, to really claim our greatness, to really claim our brilliance, to step in our sovereign self, in our most in the next level version, the highest vision that we have. Because the way I look at it, you cannot be successful in your business without both strategy and energy. They are the two wings of a bird. You need both to take off. You need both to soar. You need both to go to distance. So if you're ready for quantum leaps, if you're ready to up level, if you're ready to get booked out without burnout, and to essentially create a really effortless, easeful, authentic, fun, filled with freedom business, the formula I give my clients: you can literally work an hour to 2 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week. So essentially 5 to 10 hours a week, and fill your schedule with clients. It is the most easeful, simple strategies that I give clients. If that feels right for you, then I invite you to check out the link. You have until essentially Tuesday the 18th. And then on Tuesday the 18th, the program changes, the price goes up significantly, and that will be that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to connect with me on Messenger. If you'd like to have a call with me and see how to work with me and see whether or not the program is the right fit for you, I would be happy to chat with you and help you kind of create a blueprint and figure out what's next for you. Bye, everyone.